Alright YouTube, just showing off how my Remco AWA action figure collection is growing. Grown a newfound appreciation for these things. When I was a little kid I didn't quite like them. I liked the WWF bendy figures from LJN. But lately I've been more into collecting like retro He-Man figures. And of course I showed you an earlier video. Larry Zbyszko is my only surviving figure of this type, and I lost Ric Flair, but I got a new Ric Flair, and added, what's his face here, Baron von Raschke, and Steve Regal, and one of the Fabulous Ones, and you saw in an earlier video this guy from one of the other series that they retooled, using the same body molds and things, but yeah, they gave this guy a peg leg and one eye. He's from Pirates of the Galaxies. They're supposed to be from Outer Space Pirates. But where did they start all this from? I finally got the figure that started off this whole He-Man knockoff trend in the beginning. Warlord. Apparently he was a DC Comics character. Not on the main roster. He didn't really cross over with Superman or Batman. But it's kind of like a sword and sorcery character. So Remco always liked to jump on the trends and make knockoffs of things. Said, hey DC, we're already doing Sergeant Rock. What other characters you got that we could knock off? Because we were using him to knock off G.I. Joe. So DC gave him the rights to Warlord, which is similar enough. I don't know if that's the exact facts of the story, but it appears to be that's what the facts were. But looking back now that I finally got a Warlord, the main character in that line, what the hell is this comic book? When I was a young kid and I collected comic books, I remember seeing ads for Warlord in there. You know, back when I used to just look at the pictures instead of actually reading the comic books. But I do remember seeing this ad for these vaguely He-Man-like figures, and I remember a kid in school had like a couple of these, I think, and he'd have like all the bootleg He-Man stuff, from like Sun Gold, stuff like that, but I don't remember ever seeing this stuff actually in the stores. I had some other like bootleg figures, like the Sergeant Rocks, but that's kind of like stuff that like your grandma gets you because she doesn't know any better, and she shops at like the cheap store instead of the good toy store. So, looking back, now that I'm a grown-up collector, you know, Warlord's pretty damn awesome. I mean, he held up a whole lot better than Manny Faces with his rubbery-ass legs, because they're constructed with like a little ball joint, where this is a lousy rubber band that has to be fixed. And I made that other video trying to replace the rubber bands, and that's a pain in the ass, so thank you, Remco. You know, all those grandma bought presents that ended up not being the cool figures then, that all got thrown in the garbage. I mean, that's the expensive stuff now, because we all have vague memories and we want to rebuy it. Sorry, Grandma, I can appreciate this knockoff crap now. It's actually awesome. I'm trying to collect them now. I mean, they're expensive. I mean, most complete figures are like $40 on eBay. I don't even see them in the vintage toy stores. See some of this stuff at the flea market, but when I wasn't looking for them, I'd see them. Now that I'm looking for them, I don't see them, and that sucks. This guy I got like, I don't know, probably like $7, $8 on eBay, but he's missing everything. Alright, here's the backstory. Apparently Warlord is just like your regular Earthling guy, but he was in the Air Force, and somehow he ended up in the center of the Earth, and there's a whole nother world down there, and the world is full of sword and sorcery, and he's just the world's most badass, and he goes down there and he rules, he conquers, he kicks ass, and beds beautiful babes, so he's a little more macho than Prince Adam and He-Man, but well, YouTube, I did a little research, and I found me some Warlord comics the last time I went to the comic shop, and thank God they're all dirt cheap. I paid more than a couple of bucks for each of these issues. I got place I go to, everything is half off the price that is on there. So only paying about $2 an issue, which is good because new issues are like $4, and most of them stink. And they do not have like the awesomeness of, like, check out these covers. If this isn't one of the coolest comic book covers I've ever seen, look at that. This is like one of the hottest comic book chicks ever. And there's this dude there's the warlord fighting a dinosaur. Here he is with another babe. Another babe. There's Demos, who is apparently the villain of the toy line. And more scantily clad sword and sorcery chicks. But this looks tasteful compared to the crapola that they draw now that's supposed to be titillating, so... Cut to a picture. Alright, why is Warlord cool? Take a look at this stuff. There's one of his sexy sidekick chicks, named Shakira, not before the singer came out. She turns into a cat, and look, there she is eating a mouse. So, alright, you got me hooked. I will read further. It's just really cool sword and sorcery stuff. The art's awesome. Each issue is a quick read. I don't know what's happened the issue before. I don't know what happens the issue after, but I always have fun reading these, even though I only got about half a dozen. The art just keeps you all sucked in. Yes, that is a pit with a vaguely smiley face eating people. I'll say, this is a little more Conan than He-Man, with all the violence and stuff, but here, there's just a scene inside, you know, some evil warlord type maniacs, Jabba the Hutt type palace, and for entertainment you're watching a guy fight a gorilla. And he's having a drink about it. Meanwhile there's some hot babes stuck in the water. And then so on, there's dead hands coming up out of some swamp. All this in like 2 pages. Never mind, there's some more babes, just drunk and lying around. I just want to... Point of the video really is just me telling you that this is more than just a He-Man knockoff. There's a really cool comic book series behind this, and you know, that's really all I got to say for this YouTube video. I didn't even have a point when I started. All I know is that's just the latest thing I'm into. Warlord comic book, toys, the whole deal. Who knows what will be my next thing I'm into next month.